a very interesting and important subject to discuss. The meaning of life. First, we must try to understand what is life, because we have our own imaginations about our own life. Actually, we do not know what it is. Again, different religions and some other intellectuals also give their own opinion to define or to analyze this life. To many people, life is not belong to us. It is not our own property. That is why we cannot handle this life according to our wish. Things go against our will or wish. Somebody else is handling this life. Therefore, our duty is to obey him, because we cannot adjust this life. But when we listen and obey to that particular person who is responsible for this life, in the end, we gain the purpose of this life. That means life is created by a God, given by a God, and he is responsible for this life. Therefore, we pray and worship. We are at mercy of that God. This belief is very strong amongst certain groups. But there are some others who cannot agree with this belief. Therefore they say, this life is not belong to anybody. There is nobody to take the responsibilities, not planned or created by another person. This is a gradual development, evolution, evolving, changing forever. Life process, mental process are going on changing and changing by taking different shape. Same elements, same energies. But from time to time, they change the frame, the formation. Then we give different name to introduce, to recognize that life is life. There is no aim to them. So our duty is to make use of this life as long as we are here. So they don't want to go beyond that. Now this is the second opinion. The third opinion is the life come into existence accidentally. It is a coincidence. When certain elements and energies and so many other things get together, combine together, a unit appear. For that particular unit of the combinations of various elements and energies, we call a life. To them also, there is no aim, no purpose, and nobody knows why we appear and what will happen to us. They stop from there. Another group says, there is a supernatural or extraordinary universal consciousness that which exists forever. So all these living beings and things that exist in this world or any other part of the world are the particles that dropped from the universal consciousness, exist for a certain period, moving, running, or growing and decaying, changing, in the end, again absorb into the same universal consciousness. That is the end of it. This is another theory. This is the third one. Next one. The life is an incarnation. It appears again and again by taking different forms, and this exists forever like this. To them also there is a supernatural God behind. Now let us come to the Buddha. How did he analyze? So in the eyes of the Buddha, we can understand that his definition is not like the definitions given by others. Then he analyzed, what is life? Life is nothing but combinations of two things. But there is nobody to bring these two things together. Mind and matter. They have magnetic power. Again we analyze mind into four groups, matters into four groups. 8. Matters analyzed into 4 as solidity, fluidity, heat and wind or motion. These are the elements, energies. At the beginning, they are not tangible or visible, only energies. When these energies turn into elements, then we can see tangible or visible elements. When we touch something hard, this is solidity. Glass of water, fluidity. When you feel very hot, heat. When wind blows, motion. These are the 4 natural elements. Energies turn into elements later. So after our death, what will happen? All the elements again absorb into the same element, energies. Nothing to remain. These are the 4 groups. Then the mental side, mental process. there are four. Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijñāna. This analysis you can find only in the Buddha's teaching. Combinations of these four mental faculties create mind. But they are different sections, different duties. All must cooperate. Otherwise, mind cannot work. When you observe mentally retarded people or mad people, the way how they talk, the way how they behave, what they do, we can understand there is some sort of mental imbalance, no coordination. Something is wrong. One of the mental faculties is not cooperating with the other. Then imbalance. That is called madness. So what are these four? We experience some sort of feeling, very nice feeling, or sometimes very painful, very pleasant, or sometimes neutral, nothing to take seriously, but feeling is there. But we never think this is one of the mental faculties. The feeling exists in the mind, not in the body. Next one. By using one of our senses, eyes, ears, nose, mouth and body, we recognize this is so and so. This is dark. This is white. And this is nice smell. This gives pleasant feeling, bad feeling. We realize this is poisonous. This is very good for our health. This recognition maintained by another mental faculty. So it depends how far we have developed this particular mental faculties to recognize, to identify the things that which exist. In the case of animals and some other living beings, actually they don't use that mental faculty. They have natural instinct. So, that instinctive power is very sensitive. We cannot bluff them because it is natural. But we cannot bluff our identity. Even currency notes, we cannot recognize the difference. Artificial things cheat our eyes, cheat our mouth and ears. We take for granted that this is natural, but it is not natural. But we cannot cheat animals. Their instinctive power is natural. This is the second mental faculties. Third one is very deep, very meaningful. If we can understand, we can settle thousands of our problems that we cannot understand. This is called our habits, our tendencies, our inclination. If not our likes and dislikes by nature. For nothing, we say we don't like that. On the other hand, we say we like that. I don't like that color. I like this color. What is the reason? Oh, never appealed to my eyes. That is my inclination. I don't like this kind of dress. Why? That I don't know, but I don't like. So when you analyze, you can see thousands and one things. Our habits. Again, our own character. I have told you, today there are 4,000 millions human beings on this earth. All are human beings. All of them have the same four mental faculties. But you cannot find two human beings who maintain the same mentality, same way of thinking. Impossible. Two are not equal, physically and mentally. When you take this thumbprint, hand out to a special branch, they keep and analyze, collect thousands and millions, all over the world, billions human beings, such a small area. How many lines are there? Very few lines, round and round and round. But they say, it is impossible to find out two persons in this world who maintain the same thumbprint. Can you imagine? There are many other things, not only this. Nānatta kāya, nānatta saññā. Here the Buddha is saying. Different forms of kāya, body. Different forms of mentality we maintain. That means we differ. Very difficult for us to cooperate. To cooperate, we have to use our full effort, energy, understanding, patience, tolerance, so many things. Otherwise we cannot. Because of these differences. So, all our habits that we are going on collecting, developing and developing life after life are stored, deposited in our subconscious mind. So we use what we have deposited according to our way of thinking, our way of talking, according to our educations, and according to our way of doing things. All these things become our habits. These habits never disappear from our mind. The physical body disappears. The mental attitudes never disappear. The continuity of life process depend on our mental attitude, not the physical attitude. By nature, from childhood, some are very kind and honest and sincere and sympathetic and cooperative and generous. From childhood. Nobody taught them to behave like this, their own. Some others are very cruel, cunning, selfish, criminal-minded. Who taught? Nobody. Their own. And also it is not so easy to adjust or to change their way of life. Because these habits were deeply rooted into the mind. That is why it is difficult to change. Punishing. Government, parents, religion, society, all these sources try to change and adjust their way of life. Cannot. They know they are wrong, but they cannot change. That is the nature of that particular mental faculty. So our bad habits, it is not that purposely we have created in our mind. By nature, by birth, ingredients of these are already there. Potentials are there. So when we grow, we know how to make use of them. When we were very young, as small babies, we cannot use them. Now people like small babies. Everybody likes small babies. Very lovely. Siam. So nice. Innocent. Because all those evil ingredients are not yet developed in the mind. And no chance to use jealousy, hatred, cunningness, ill will, no chance, not yet developed. When they attain certain age, teenage, when the faculties are fully matured, developed, then they use all the bad elements. Same people. So all our merits and demerits, we do lot of meritorious deeds as religious duties. We do many bad things for our own benefit with selfish motive. They are known as merits and demerits. That is the storehouse to deposit. This is the third mental faculty. And this is life-saving for us to spend. All the good things, the merits that we have accumulated and deposited in this faculty. When we want to enjoy our life, withdraw from there and spend. Then we go on spending and spending and enjoying. At the same time, go on depositing. That is what we are doing. Again, the negative side. We do a lot of bad things. And we also experience a lot of problems, troubles, worries, disturbances, injuries, demerits. Going on paying and paying and paying. Again deposit. At the same time we also do some bad deeds. Enriching our storehouse of consciousness. The more we live, the more we deposit good and bad merits in that storehouse. The Buddhas and Arahantas cannot do that. They never accumulate either merits or demerits to deposit there. In our case, every minute we deposit something according to our thoughts, words and action. You see, when you analyze our mind, there are many things for us to learn. The function of the mind. Now this is the third mental faculty. The last one is called consciousness. Consciousness means when five senses bring object from outside, then by using our identification through one of the mental faculties, then experiencing whether it gives good taste or bad taste, using another mental faculty. For us to use two mental faculties to accommodate this. So every minute we are doing this. When you look at, then watch. Then decide whether good or bad, useful or not. Either to accept or to reject, or to ignore. Sound, a smell, taste, feeling. The objects. It goes through this consciousness. Reflect after going through the other two faculties. Then, listen, our own mental habits, our tendencies also contribute to enrich this consciousness. Then, the mental objects that we have created, that means our belief, our concept that we maintain in our mind. We have so many kinds of belief, whether true or not, we believe, influence the mind. We also have our own concept regarding our life and the world and many other things. So these belief and concept also influence this consciousness. Now you can understand that consciousness is a very rich mental energy, richer than the other three mental faculties. Then, one day, when we are going to depart from this world, when we die, which depart from this body? Whether the body or the elements or the minds or energies or consciousness or which mental faculties? This is the biggest problem. All the other existing religions in this world used only one word, that is soul or spirit or self. So when we die, our soul or the self depart from me. But here, according to the analysis given by the Buddha, there is no such thing as soul to depart from me. To them, there is no such analysis as these mental faculties. They never consider. Just now I told you, elements of the body cannot carry forward nothing. Drop here and burns and turn into ashes. Energies, cosmic energies also cannot Then, 4 mental faculties just now I mentioned. Our feeling also cannot. Our identity also cannot. When we come to the third one, our habits, our attachments or likes or dislikes contributed to the consciousness at that time. And the external objects that we absorbed from outside influence the mind. Then, Viññānaṁ mātukucchismiñ okkamati. Again, the Buddha used only this word, viññāna. When we die, only our consciousness. Just now I analyze and explain the nature of consciousness, what it is. That consciousness depart from here. In that consciousness you can see lot of ingredients, what we have accumulated during this lifetime. Then the next life, next existence, depend on this or the nature of this consciousness. Whether it is rich or whether it is dirty or whether it is pure or whether it is enlightened or educated. So the next existence also form, mold according to this consciousness. These are the 4 mental faculties, 4 elemental groups. See the way how Buddha has analyzed. Of course, to understand this, we have to use our mind to think. Otherwise we cannot understand anything. We maintain the same age-old belief, that's all. Given by God, taken away by God, finished. Nothing to study. So, now I explain the nature of life. This is life. And I told you, this appearance or the outlook or the formations of this structure or the body is not the life. This is not the life. So this is the house which built for that life to exist, to live. So life is inside, energy. That is why others say soul exists, to them that is life. Given by God or created by God. But to us, not given by another person, but combinations of all the necessary elements and energies. Now let us come to the next item. Meaning. Is there any meaning? If there are any meaning or any purpose, how to make use of this life to find out the purpose? This is a very big problem. To us, it is not a big problem. It's very clear. Paratha charyaya satang hi jīvana. This is the definition in simple language. The meaning or the purpose of our life depend on our services. If we want to make life a meaningful one, by enjoying our life, we never gain this. In the end, we gain more frustration. But by doing some service to others, we can find out the purpose. That means by reducing selfishness, selfish idea. Again analyze. Many others try to tell us, if you want to see the purpose of your life, you must gain this through external sources. Listen carefully. If you want to see the purpose of your life, you have to depend on somebody. Then your duty is to pray, worship and obey. Then you can find the purpose of your life. It is in his hands. Buddhism never agree with this interpretation, never accept this belief. We prefer. Let us take the purpose of life of the Buddha. How he started. What kind of services he has rendered. He said, he did not gain anything from outside, from anybody. Only by cultivating and doing some service to others. Until he reached the final goal, the enlightenment. To climb up to that maximum level, he had to cultivate his mind by doing some service to others, not by praying and worshipping. Bodhisattva. The characteristics of a Bodhisattva. Now we worship Bodhisattvas, thinking that they are very powerful, they can save us, they can bless us. Why do we worship them? Because they have reduced their selfishness, greed. They are willing to serve others because they think the purpose of their life is that. So they are not working for their own benefit. So we worship them. Without doing some services to others, please remember, you cannot serve yourself. The more you serve others, the more you serve yourself. Very deep and very meaningful and practical. Just now I told you, the Buddha gained his enlightenment by serving others life after life. Then there are various ways for us to serve. Now you are observing 8 precepts. Do you know what kind of services that you can render during this period? It is not simply by doing something. Your attitude, your mentality, your way of thinking, your devotion, confidence, these are the things that contribute to do some service to others. Let us analyze all the precepts that you are observing to do some service to others. Wonderful service. You say, I promise not to destroy, not to kill any living being. Is it not a service? By undertaking, upholding this noble principle, we allow all the others to live peacefully without disturbing them. Is it not a service? Then, fear of death no more in others' mind because of your honesty and kindness. That is a service. You promised that you don't want to take away others' belonging without their permission. No stealing, no bluffing, no swindling. Is it not a service? Everybody is in fear because of this. Somebody may come and take away their valuable things and belonging. If not, somebody may bluff. But you have made up your mind not to do such dirty thing. Then you allow others to live peacefully. And they also can sleep peacefully. That is your contribution. That is your service. Not necessary to go out and do something. In simple language, mind your own business without disturbing others. All the precepts are there. But people cannot do that. They want to go and worship and pray and pray and pray, come and do all the dirty things. Then where is the service? You promise to keep away from sexual misconduct. Yes. All over the world, people are suffering, fighting, killing each other because of this. An innocent girl cannot go out without fear in her mind because of this. And all sort of immoral practices are spreading all over the world. So many dirty tricks which mislead the whole mankind are spreading sicknesses, very funny kind of sicknesses spreading all over the world because of this. Immoral practices. So when we observe this, that we do not behave in such a way to disturb others by violating these principles. Those who like to experience sensual pleasure, they can do that respectable way, normal way, without disturbing and hurting others. That is what Buddhism says. So is it not a service? You promise not to tell lies. You always promise, not only today. You promise not to tell lies. So how long can you maintain this? How many days? At least for a few hours. If you can maintain this noble principle, then others can trust you. Now they don't trust you. Today they trust you up to this evening. Tomorrow nobody trusts you. The nature of our mouth is such. People never trust what we say. So what you promise not to tell lies. Not to tell lies means there are four altogether. Not to use bad words, harsh words to scold others, not to tell lies to mislead and swindle others, and not to carry tales to create troubles and dispute, gossiping and all sort of things. Guard your tongue. Service. Now you can understand in which way that we can serve others. Allow others to live peacefully without disturbing them. That is why this says, Paratha Charyaya Satang Hi Jivana. The purpose of our life depend on our services. Services means by leading a noble life without disturbing others. Further, you can extend. When we come to know that some people are suffering without food, without clothing, without medicine, without shelter, or various other disturbances in fear, there may be certain things that we can do to relieve their suffering. It is a service. Then, by reducing our selfish motive, we come forward to help others to relieve their suffering. Furthermore, when we maintain our patience, tolerance and kindness, these three qualities, we can avoid so many conflicts or clashes, disturbances, misunderstanding, enmity. Simple thing which can create enormous problem. But we can avoid this by upholding the simple qualities in our life. When it is necessary, we must try our best to tolerate. It does not mean that always we must tolerate. There are certain things that we should not tolerate. But there are many other things. By considering that this can create a lot of problems and troubles, then tolerance or patience, very important at that time. That is your contribution. Just because of your strong egoistic idea, views, you don't like to calm your mind, reduce your pride. You don't like it. You want to fight. You want to beat. You want to scold. If you can avoid this, you also can avoid so many other problems. The more you develop your kindness, sympathy and tolerance, the more you allow others also to live peacefully, and you also cultivate the good qualities in your mind. That is called religious way of life. Now, in brief, we have to analyze in this way. Life is nothing but combinations of some elements and energies. It is not coincident or never exists accidentally, but according to the gravity of the elements and energies and mental faculties, all those things combine together, then exist. While existing, the elements and energies going on slowly fading away, decaying, then drop. Then the elements and other energies disperse. The consciousness, just now I explained, never disappear, depart. Another life come into existence because of this. After that, all the other external elements and energies combine, join together. Combination again taken place. Built another house, another life. Now that is life. By knowing that this is not a joke, it's a real burden, no peace, no rest, no guarantee. What we are trying to do is to mold our way of life to reach a reliable, unchangeable place, not a place actually, a condition, where we can keep away from all these problems that we are facing today. That is called the aim, the ultimate aim. That means to see the end of all our physical and mental suffering. No more mental suffering, no more physical suffering. That is the purpose. To reach this end, I have told you, we cannot gain this by praying or worshipping, but by cultivating our way of life, fulfilling our duties such as services. Do some service to others. When you do some service to others, you serve yourself. You cultivate your own way of life. Without doing this service to others, you never serve yourself. Impossible. Now you can understand whether there is any meaning in this life. Then how to handle this life, how to make use of this life, if we want to find out whether it is meaningful or not. Thank you. There is any difference, different mentalities in twins. Many years ago, there's a well-known figure in Thailand, Thai Siamese twins. They have gone round the world. And they were loggerheaded. Couldn't agree with the other. Can you imagine? Physically, join. Mentally, differ. When one person says, I want to sleep, the other person says, no, cannot sleep. When one person says, I want to go to toilet, the other person says, no, cannot. Even then, these two could not agree. Although physically joined together only one side. Mentally entirely different. They have their own karma and elements and habits and dislikes and tendencies, entirely different. It is mentioned already in the Buddha's teaching.